Hey everyone, One Spitting here with another battle report. So I'm calling this one Doombull's Revenge, which is not to mean that the Doombull wins the game as much as it's just a rematch. The game we played just previous to this one was, I felt, just insanely bad luck. And so we're hoping that this will be a little more interesting. We are playing a scenario, but it just really doesn't affect the game much. Basically, imagine the board divided diagonally into four different quadrants, and you get bonus points for being in the top left quadrant of your enemy's deployment zone, and him not being in your bottom right one. It doesn't really come up, but that's what we were doing. So on the left, he's got a salamander, 20 skinks, stegodon. Of course, you see two more units of 20 skinks each. He's got his Death Star, Temple Guard, Slaan, Old Blood combo, Eye of the Gods, Engine of the Gods, and then unit of Source Warriors with spears. And they're all kitted out, as you can see, if you want to pause the video and read that more closely. And there's a close-up look. Just 'cause it's a very well-painted army, and the Old Blood is front row, of course, second from the left. He's on a cold one there. Obviously, there's the Slaan. Facing him on the left, I've got Harpies. I've got 20 Gore with two hand weapons, and in there I've got my Brave Shaman, level 2 beast with power scroll. His job is to turn himself into a monster and kill stuff. I've got 37 Bestigors with the Standard of Discipline. In there is my General, who's a great Brave Shaman. I've got a 39 Gore with two hand weapons with the Battle Standard Bearer, who gives them all +1 strength. Then I've got my Doombull with 5 Minotaurs, extra hand weapon, Tuskor Chariot, and more Harpies. So, Beastmen get turn 1. I move up, as you can see. I kind of like that he's kind of in the center, and I feel like I'm able to get, not in his flanks so much, but at least kind of surround him. During the magic phase, I go ahead and get, I had extra dice. Using the Lore of Beast, I mean, after the Ember Spear, there's really not a whole lot to do in the magic phase. So, went ahead and turned my level 2 into I think a Black Hydra is what I did, because it gives him an armor save and regen. And one thing that came up, we were saying when he's in this unit that he can target me shooting. And I know when I played Skaven, that's how the other players said to play it as well. I'm not convinced that's right. When I read the rule book, it sounds to me like you treat it like a character of a different unit type, where you have to allocate hits, but until you've allocated one on everybody in the unit, you wouldn't have to allocate on him. So I'm very, very open to anybody with a rules decision on that. Anyway, but because I knew he could shoot at me, I went ahead and got the thing with an armor save and regen. We go to Lizardman turn 1, and really just kind of shuffles his lines so as to protect his flank a little bit from my Doombull. Over here brings a Salamander up to shoot on my unit of Gore, and just because I think I'm going to forget it, I think he only did like 1 wound. Overall, it looks like that, and like that. During the shooting phase, got several blurry pictures in a row. Don't know what my deal was. With his shooting, he did get 2 wounds on my Black Hydra, so that means all he has to do is dispel it, and my level 2 dies. Over here, oh my gosh, he had 20 skinks shooting and did, what is that, 10 wounds on my Minotaurs? It was crazy. So we go to Beastman turn 2, and I go ahead and charge his skink units. So my Harpies on the left charge the flank of a Salamander. He's toughness, I think he's toughness 4, so it's kind of hard for me to wound him, but I've got a charge and a flank and just a boatload of attack. So I'm hoping that's enough to beat him through combat res. Sorry for the blurry picture. I'm really showing this one to show that I flew my Black Hydra out of it. I'm going to lay a flame template down on top of the Temple Guard. And because I'm going to forget later, Strength 4 flame template hitting about half the unit, I did 1 wound. Obviously, the Gore unit he was in couldn't charge. My Bestigors charged the rightmost unit of Skinks, and they had to charge the left one too because they were even. So it looks like that. So I'm thinking I'm easily going to overrun beat the Skinks, and then I'm going to overrun to the Temple Guard, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. I mean, this is a horde of Bestigor. That's a lot of attacks, rerolling to hit Strength 6. That it'll be on his turn, even if he gets the toughness buff up without the Throne of Vines, he'll be toughness 6. I'm still wounding on 4, so even if that happens, I think I'll be okay. Here it is on the right. I charge the Doombull out of the Minotaurs because one, they weren't going to do much good, and two, I liked them doing the stand and shoot against him because I didn't think anything would go through, and it didn't. Went ahead and took the Horde of Gore in there. I was thinking it'd be a nice overrun, and I'd get into that Ancient Stegodon as well as the Saurus Warriors. When all was said and done, though, when the Doombull overran, he went straight ahead, and he just kind of missed the Saurus Warriors, so we bumped him out an inch. And then the Gore hit the Saurus Warriors, and I guess the Ancient Steg was a tenth of a millimeter back behind the Saurus Warriors, so they didn't actually get the charge on him. Over here, predictably, I killed the skinks, but if you look at that, I lost 8 guys to those skinks. I thought it was very... those things were killy. So we're going to go in here, and I think it's going to be bloody both ways, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay actually losing this whole unit if I can really weaken his Temple Guard, and then later on get the Doombull and the Horde of Gore in there to finish him off. I don't like that my general's in here, but that's, it's just the way it worked out. And let's see here on the left, when my general's unit pursued the rightmost unit of skinks and got into the Temple Guard, the leftmost unit of skinks fled away from him. That's why they're out there. And if you look on the left, I lost 2 harpies, so and did no wounds to him, so I had to charge and flank. He had 2 wounds. It was a tie. And it doesn't show it here, but he reformed to face me. So on his turn, he charged his Stegodon into my Black Hydra. Normally I would have fled, but because all I had to do was dispel that and I would die anyway, I decided just to take it, hoping I can put some wounds on his Stegodon. And then if he kills me, he kills me. It's not really a big deal. His Ancient Stegodon comes crashing into my Gore Horde. And over here, I made sure he did not get thrown to vines. He was able to get the toughness buff. I was still wounding on 4s, and if you look at that Temple Guard unit, I just did nothing to him. I mean, I probably did a few wounds, but he just did an absolute ton back to me. I still don't really remember. Oh, no, what happened was his Stegodon killed my Black Hydra and then overran into the Bestigor, and between that and the Temple Guard, he just did a lot of wounds. I had relatively few attacks back, broke him, ran him down, and now I'm without my Horde of Bestigor, and I'm without my General, and I'm without both of my spellcasters. So now he's got a tooled up Slaan, and I've got no magic defense. Yes, that does scare me. If you look at his Steg, he's got, I think, 4 wounds on him. And I think they start with 5, so he's only got 1 left, but I needed that Black Hydra to do 1 more wound. And and some of those were done by the Bestigor, I think. Anyway, over here, he came in, did a lot of wounds. When all was said and done, we stuck. I don't remember exactly what happened because I imagine he did a bunch of wounds to me. I haven't counted them up, and I'm not steadfast, but obviously I did enough wounds back that I was able to stick. So that was nice, because if they had broken, that would have been the game right there. Now my Doombull is ready to do a charge into their flank, and I'm very happy to see that. And if you look at my Harpies, they're ready to charge the flank of the Skinks that had fled and rallied. So overall, the board looks like that. Again, I don't like losing my Bestigor, and I'm certainly very scared that I don't have any spellcasters. But I've still got more than half of my Horde of Gore at +1 strength, and I've got my Doombull, and then I've got a Chariot and a couple Minotaurs. I think I still have a lot of small tools left to deal with everything he has on the table except the Temple Guard unit, and I really don't know what to do there. So Beastman turn 3, I moved my assets, if you will, to where they can maybe threaten something. I was kind of hoping that his Temple Guard would start charging stuff and have a failed charge or anything. Just I don't want the Temple Guard to get into the fight with my Gore Horde. I did go ahead and charge this unit. This unit had fled from the Bestigor combat a long time ago. They rallied. I went ahead and charged them. 1, because might as well get the points, and I didn't see these guys helping a whole lot elsewhere. And 2, because of the scenario, having these guys in this corner is going to net me some victory points. So here we go with the Doombull into the flank. Yeah, he's already won, I think only 1 combat, but he starts the game frenzied, so he has 2 frenzy markers already. And yeah, if you notice, I'm not missing, I think he only killed 1 Gore. So first off, the Saurus Warriors were dead dead before they got to fight. I mean, it was sick. It was absolutely sick. Between the Doombull and then the Gore at strength 4, they just went to town. And then the Stegodon, the ancient Stegodon, with his attacks, the Skinks didn't do anything. His attacks didn't do anything. I think he rolled a 1 for his Thunder Stomp and killed one guy. It was just an epic fail, but he was stubborn, 10 rerollable, so he wasn't going anywhere. My Doombull can only overrun D6, so he did not get into the flank of the ancient Steg, so that's kind of a bummer. But overall, I can't complain. And I've killed the level 2 Skink Priest that was on here, and we've done, I think, 3 wounds to the Steg itself. Because my BSB's there, he's strength 5, so he's at least somewhat able to wound him and get past all his saves. The Harpies charged the flank of the Skinks, beat him and ran him down. And we go to Lizardman turn 3. He did not take the bait and charge anything, he just reformed, which was by far the smartest thing to do. And, I had so many decisions to make on my turn after this, because I have a Chariot and Harpies that I could probably move up and get in his way and make him charge them and flee with both of them and buy myself some time. But yeah, that was tough because the Chariot moving 7 inches, I wasn't sure if I could really get in there and block him without kind of cheating. His Salamander breathes on these guys. I think it's a smart move because it's an auto panic test. Luckily, I passed it. I don't care how much he kills these guys as long as I have somebody left. And my only fear is running off the board. And you can see he just kind of moved his Steg over. His Steg, of course, only has 1 wound on it. So I'm thinking, if I can charge the Minotaurs into that Steg, I just need to do 1 wound on them, and they have a chance of doing that. And that would leave me free, maybe to use my Chariot and my Harpies on the Temple Guard or whatever. But we go to the magic phase. He has the Awakening of the Wood. Cast it on my Minotaurs, and it does 3 wounds. I fail my panic, and the lone Minotaur runs away. So that plan just got scrapped. During the magic phase, he got 3 spells off, and so this Steg, who had 3 wounds on it, now is at full strength. It just made me sick. Ugh. And remember, the Doombull's not in there. It's just my Gore Horde. And I'm pretty sure one of those spells was +2 toughness on it. So really what I'm doing in his magic phase, it's not every time, but for the most part, I'm using my dice to dispel Throne of Vines. And then if he's casting other things, I'm just hoping that he miscasts. If this thing's +2 toughness, it makes it tough, but it's manageable. If he gets +4 toughness, it's not manageable at all. So, and I just can't match a Slaan in the magic phase. But anyway, over here, yeah, that's a little bit discouraging. He shoots my guys, same deal there. And Lizardman turn 3, he uses his I guess a bolt thrower on top of the Stegodon and shoots my Chariot and does 3 wounds. I have 4, so and think about charging him, and we'll both be sitting on 1 wound each, and it's just my impact hits are going to kill him or I'm going to die. So after combat here, I've lost so many guys now that the Horde formation's not doing me any good, so I had to go ahead and reform just to give me some ranks and maybe help out. I really, really need to kill him, this Steg, on my next turn, because if I don't, his Temple Guard's going to come in my flank, and that's going to be ugly. So we go to Beastman turn 4. I charge the Tusk Score into the Steg. It just seems so epic. We're both on 1 wound each. I get impact hits. I'm hoping the impact hits work. If not, we're kind of in trouble no matter what. Take another unit of Harpies. Remember, I had a unit of Harpies charge this thing before, and it won combat, only taken 1 wound. So now I'm charging another unit of Harpies in there again. Same deal. I've got a charge and a flank. I'll have 8 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s. I just need to do a wound, break them through combat res, and get this thing off the table. So there's that. I'm getting really, really nervous about that combat on the right. So when all's said and done, yeah, I want to say I did some wounds to the Steg, but not enough. I think he had 1 wound left, maybe a couple wounds, whatever it was. it wasn't enough, and that's brutal because now his Temple Guard are going to come in. So I went ahead and reformed, and I couldn't take any models out of combat, so I had to be four deep, and so I just went three wide. I figured when he comes in, I'm not going to have ranks anyway. So, and he's going to have a flank anyway. So I'm just looking to give him my front. It gives me a few more attacks going forward. My Doombull is going to kill the Steg or not. The Gore Horde's not going to do much to it. And that puts my BSB, he had to be in the second rank because I was only three wide, so my command group went up front. And so it protects my BSB from getting killed by the Temple Guard. So I thought I'd give that a go. Really, I feel it's kind of a hopeless situation, but it was better than nothing. Over here, very, very happy. The Tuscarora Chariot comes in. Impact hits do the one remaining wound on the Stegodon. Yeah, very happy about that. If you look at the Salamander, so I charge him with my Harpies. I do no wounds to it. He did a couple wounds on me. I think it's the Skinks. This game, the Skinks have been just really killy. Anyway, they broke and ran down my Harpies. I think he rolled a 12, and so it brought him all the way over here. So we get Lizardman turn 4. He charges him with his Death Star. And when all's said and done, even with, I think he got a toughness buff on the Steg, and it just didn't matter. I think he only had one wound left. My Doombull's up to I think 9 attacks now. He's just vicious. So he tore through the Steg. At that point, after the Steg's dead, all he could do was reform. And then, luckily, amazingly, the Temple Guard really didn't do anything. I think I got in a challenge with my champion and his old blood, and so he killed my champion, I think. And then, yeah, he killed my champion. And then he just really didn't do many wounds to me. I think, let's see, he may have done a wound. I don't remember what happened there. He just fluffed all his attacks. So, amazingly, we stuck. I was able to reform, put my BSB on the corner so that relatively few attacks could go at him. And yeah, a hopeless situation turned at least interesting. And also with my reform, I was able to open up space for my Doombull to get in there. So we'll go to Beastman turn 5. During his turn, a Salamander breathes on my chariot, hoping to do the last wound. It failed, and so I charged my chariot into the Salamander. Thing's already eaten 2 units of Harpies. I'm like, come on, can we at least get that thing off the board? My Doombull charges in, and that's what makes it made a really interesting decision about what to do, because he issued a challenge with his. Well, I take that back. Yeah, he issued a challenge with his old. He did not issue a challenge. I didn't issue a challenge. My Doombull goes in there and goes to town on those guys. Absolutely ripped them. Well, you can see what he did. It was awesome. I love that Doombull. But and you can see too, after my Doombull was done, he didn't have that many attacks, and so again he killed a guy or two, and that's really about it. So then we go to his turn. I want to talk about it before I show the next picture. He issues a challenge with the Old Blood, and it was a difficult decision, and I purposely did something different in this game that I would do in let's say a tournament game, because in a tournament I would have accepted with my Battle Standard Bearer, knowing that his Old Blood might kill him. But my Doombull would certainly be able to kill the rest of the Temple Guard. It would leave my Gore free to attack the Slaan. Either way, I should win through combat res, and at worst lose my BSB. He's going to lose his Temple Guard points. But I thought it'd be more fun and epic to see if my Doombull, now that he's at 10 attacks, if he can kill the stupid Old Blood. And he could not. So he did all of 1 wound on the Old Blood. The Old Blood basically, with my strength modifications, has a 4-up rerollable armor save, and then he has got a 4-up ward save that I make him reroll if he passes it. I assumed I could get 3 wounds. I've got 10 attacks, rerolling to hit, strength 6, and I did 1 wound. I couldn't believe it. So my Gore Horde were unable to finish off the rest of the Temple Guard. He broke in combat. He won combat. My Doombull held, but my Battle Standard Bearer fled. And by the way, this is Lizardman turn 5, but we thought it was Lizardman turn 6. And yeah, so my chariot charges into the Salamander. I do no wounds to that thing. He kills my chariot. That Salamander ate 2 units of Harpies and a chariot, and burned most of my unit of smaller unit of Gore. That thing was just vicious. So really the game ended like that. I still got my Doombull up there. the way it ended here, I think he won by 300 points. If I had targeted my Doombull on his Temple Guard, um, and then seen his Old Blood may or may not have killed my BSB, it wouldn't matter. I would still have my Gore Horde. He would not have his Temple Guard, and it would have been a victory for the Beastmen. Either way, it didn't matter. Either way. And again, it's ending on turn 5. If we had gone, really, we thought it was turn 6, maybe even 7. Game was like 4.5 hours long. It was crazy. So if we had gone turn 6, he easily would have won because my Doombull, I don't know, my Doombull would have lost all his extra attacks, and I doubt he'd be able to kill the Old Blood, and then he would have won through combat res and killed my Doombull. So, whatever. But a much, much better game, a lot more fun, a lot more dice being rolled this time, and bloody. I mean, you can see there's very little left on the board. I've got a Minotaur, my small unit of Gore, and my Doombull, and that's it. And he's got, what, a Slaan, a couple Temple Guard left, his Old Blood, and a Salamander. So, anyway, that was it. Hope you enjoyed it.